So then gone from principles, gone into principles. Yeah, I see. And so we don't know say principles is high principles. Then gone a higher region. Well, as far as Rastafari is concerned, you find that there are many different ones coming with all different type of thing. You see about Rastafari this and Rastafari that. I want to put all different type of twist and turn. You see, and try and make Rastafari seem like it's some little worthless or some little hippie trad. You see, so I really going to go speak on at least seven principles that all Rastafari must have within that same fullness. You see, and also just a note for ones and ones where they see the Muta Baruka first night that they was playing at the on the library on channel 21. Yeah, I citing that I will make sure that the IMP will come forward again, or we can re-air that. You see, it was Rastafari Rising Productions. Eli Selassie the first, and anyone want to get copy that, they can link I said speed. Blessed Rastafari, Killer Portman, Isis. Yeah. So, and I just going to touch it briefly. Whosoever claims to live in accordance to Rastafari way of life must acknowledge these principles as the foundation on which all sects or all houses stand. It matters not which one sect hails from. The overstanding is that we are all connected via these seven principles. Aye? You see, whether for one want to cite themselves as a Bobo, for one want to cite themselves as Ayabingi, for one want to cite themselves as 12 tribe, etc., etc. You see, these principles are the things that connect all of I and I. Conversely, if one refuses, you see, listen very carefully, conversely, if one refuses to accept any one of these principles and yet claims to live as a Rasta, then that one is not fully committed to their way of life. Either that or that one lacks certain knowledge of Rasta, in which case one needs to continue in the way of learning so that one may come to a better overstanding. Isis? There are people, both Rasta and non-Rasta, who lack faith in their own power to differentiate that which is right and that which is wrong. You see, you find that in Rasta and non-Rasta. You got people who are confused about right and wrong. Everywhere you go, you're going to find some people going on and confused about right and wrong, or right and wrong becomes very blurry, you see. But Rastafari doesn't defend that. Aye. This takes knowledge and common sense. And though knowledge is plenty, common sense is not so common. The need for common sense is strong among all people. Our words, our actions, and our deeds show the rest of the world how reasonable or unreasonable we are. These principles, then, are reasonable and represent a common sense approach to overstanding Rastafari. Rastafari have 7 basic principles that should be known and understood by all who claim to live it. Rastafari. 1. The faith in His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I as being the one whom the book of Revelation chapter 5 spoke of, concerning the conquering line of the tribe of Judah, the root of David. 2. That Marcus Messiah Garvey was the prophet who led us, or I and I, to His Imperial Majesty, and should therefore be given a place as the prophet within the Rastafari hierarchy. Rastafari. 3. That I and I fight against oppression, black or white. I and I fight against down oppression. Rastafari. 4. That the land of Ethiopia is the Holy Land. 5. Repatriation. Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. 6. Ital living, or the natural way of doing things. See? 7. reasoning, or being reasonable. Right, Leah? Now I'm going to elaborate on these principles. But these are the 7 principles, basic foundational principle. Right, Leah? And if you're lacking on any one of these, better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Right, Leah? Forward. The first principle. Emperor Haile Selassie I is divine. That's the first principle. The very first principle. We're going to deal with that first and foremost. Haile Selassie I is divine. Revelation chapter 5 reads, "And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. It is written in the Kebra-Nagast, the book of Ethiopia, that King Solomon and Queen of Sheba were parents of Menelik I. Thus began the Solomonic dynasty in Ethiopia. This established His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I as being the direct descendant from King David, the root of David. The title he was given when he became the emperor included the title of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Therefore, we have historical as well as biblical references to support our position for saying and believing or knowing that His Imperial Majesty I, Haile Selassie I, is of divine lineage or lineage or lineage. With this support for our argument or reasoning, many of us claim different approaches to His Imperial Majesty's divinity. Some say divinity or divinity. You see? Some believe His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I is a new Messiah, or simply a prophet. But the strongest of the faith among Rastafari, as well as the youth, is that His Imperial Majesty is the Almighty God, Jah Rastafari. This point of faith is the most important aspect of our way of life. If one is unable to pass this point, then he or she will never be able to call him or herself a true Rastafari. One must know that His Imperial Majesty is of divine descent. Whether one chooses to see His Imperial Majesty as the Messiah or God, the choice is yours. And that point of contention may be long in the time of the field of reasoning before it is agreed upon. Rastafari. Nevertheless, His Imperial Majesty is the divine head of Rasta way of life, and nothing can, will, or ever change that, regardless of what the various sects, houses, or branches on the tree of Rasta may say. Yili. They must accept the divinity of His Imperial Majesty. One can see the acceptance of this sign in the signs and symbols we use. The flag, with its red, gold, and green colors. The lion bearing the staff of power. Pictures of His Imperial Majesty are also part of representation. Every time we use the lion,